Hello YouTube, welcome back to a brand new video presented by Red Pilled American, and here I am to do the latest video in regards to a track meet that went deadly last week. So I don't know if you've heard, but on the news, this track meet went deadly where a teen was stabbed at a track meet in Frisco, Texas. And this is all over the internet and news, and just a terrible, terrible, terrible situation at a track meet. So there were these teens. One, Carmelo Anthony. He was the guy that stabbed this one teen, Austin Metcalf. The report is that there was this tent. It was like a canopy tent location. They had this tent that these teens were sitting at for their track meet. The teen that was stabbed, he has a twin brother, and they had their their location where they were sitting at. And so this guy, Carmelo Anthony, decides to go into their property, and he sits down. And Austin and his brother, come, I think Austin specifically, they come back and they ask him, "What are you doing here? This is our place, and you need to leave." He asked Carmelo Anthony to leave. It seems like it wasn't rudely. It seemed like he said, "You need to leave. This is our place." Well, Carmelo Anthony the guy who stabbed Austin got really confrontational and decided to pull the knife. Because Austin grabbed his backpack when he got all confrontational. Because he got confrontational, and when he was asked to leave. So the brother said that when he took the backpack and tried to move it, Carmelo Anthony pulled out a knife and stabbed Austin in the chest. Died instantly, and the brother said he died in his arms. They got him to the hospital, but it was way too late. He was gone. What a horrible, horrible tragedy. And of course, since the media likes to make this about race, this was a interracial, I guess, crime, because the teen that stabbed Carmelo Anthony, that stabbed Austin Metcalf, well, the victim was white, and the guy who did the murder was black. So there's a lot of, of course, the media is trying to politicize this. They always do. And the media is trying to justify this by saying that this was a self-defense. And it doesn't seem like from what I report, Austin Metcalf didn't even put his hands on him. He just moved his backpack, and he pulled a knife, and he stabbed him over it. It was his property. He asked him to leave, and he said to make me leave. So he got his backpack, moved it, and he got stabbed for it. At a track meet. I've heard fights happening at track meets. I've heard, especially with rivalries and stuff like that. I've seen some before, but outright stabbing, don't think I've ever heard this before. Just because he was asked to move. So that's what's been reported, and that's the facts I have, because the brother was the witness, which was his brother. They're twins, actually. So he watched the whole thing. That's where the facts I have for you guys. So here's my question. So the far left, the social justice white virtual signalers, and BLM are politicizing this, defending Carmelo Anthony, the black kid, saying that, oh, he was self-defense. Trying to say that, basically actually cheering, kind of almost like celebrating the death of Austin Metcalf. This is disgusting. And once again, the media is stirring up race relations, the anti-white racism. Now, I don't know if this particular incident was necessarily race related, because it seems like best I have is a really stupid situation that did not have to happen, all because he was asked to move and he didn't. But you have to wonder, was he looking for trouble? Because he brought a knife with him. He had a knife on him. Why are you bringing a knife to a track meet? Why are you bringing a knife to a track meet? Who brings a knife to a track meet? Unbelievable. So, it looks like he'll be tried as an adult. I would assume that's going to happen at this point. The kid's, I think, 17. That's what I have here. Yeah, 17 years old. Like they were, and this is what a tragedy. I mean, this kid, he was, he had a lot going for him. This life was just stolen from him. He was an MVP. Austin was an MVP on his football team. He was 4.0. He had scholarship potential offers for football. I mean, this guy had an only to be cut short stolen from you by some punk. I mean, I don't know if punk's a strong enough word for it. It's just a really unfortunate, disgusting situation. I hope they throw the hammer at this guy. Like, no mercy, throw the hammer. Whatever you have, put the worst punishment you can get on him, because this guy needs to be locked up forever. No mercy. This cannot be tolerated. This cannot be tolerated. This behavior is not tolerated. And there are people who think, thugging and being gang-related, acting like this is justified. And these young teens grow up thinking this is okay. The fact, and again, the brother was actually his twin brother. And here's the thing with twins, they're really close. Twins tend to be very close. Like, they're always with each other. From the moment of birth till everything. They do everything together. And now suddenly he no longer has his brother, and it was stolen from him, all because this monster. All because he was asked to move. And even if he said it rudely, it doesn't matter. He was asked to leave. He was on his property. Unbelievable. So, this is the father. I'm only going to show a little bit of it so you can hear from his own words, but I also have someone else I want you to listen to his take on this, but the father, I want you to hear from Austin Metcalf's father, the kid that was stabbed, and hear his words. Who
was not at the track meet and said, I think Austin has been stabbed. And I said, where at? And he said, Kukendall Stadium. I said, I'm on my way. So I drove up there, went through a load of police officers, and was able to see my son on the gurney with a huge hole and blood all over him, and they were pumping him. He wasn't breathing, and his eyes were rolled back in his head. So I had to find his brother. They're twins. And so I found Hunter and tried to get him under control as best we could. And then I loaded him up in my car, and we drove to the hospital as quickly as possible. And we waited. And when the doctors came in and said that he didn't make it, it was tough. My son took it extremely hard. Mm-hmm. I'm still in shock, to be honest. I mean, I'm numb. So it really hasn't hit me. And I don't believe any parent should ever have to bury their child. And I pray that, maybe there's changes made as far as security or things like that. And maybe we can learn from this and try to turn a tragedy into something positive to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else's child. I don't want parents to feel like I feel today. So, I've already forgiven the person who stabbed him. God's going to take care of everything. God's taking care of my son. I kissed him. When I kissed him goodbye for the last time, I told him it's not goodbye, it's see you later. So, I just have to trust in God and my faith to pull us through. I don't understand his plan. We're all subject to trial and tribulations. God didn't say life was going to be fair or wasn't going to be hard, but he said he'll always be beside you and never leave your side. So we're going to lean deep into our faith. There's a vigil tonight at our church at 7 o'clock. I will be attending also. The outpouring of students and coaches and friends and family that showed up at the hospital immediately. It was just shows the way my son touched people's lives. He was voted team MVP of the football team this year. He carried a 4.0. He was National Honor Society. He's ranked in the top 50 of the state in his position. He's having D1 colleges contact him. He had a great life ahead of him. And to be taken away, it's such a tragedy. I mean, I can't even tell you how I feel because I don't know how I feel. I feel numb at the moment. Yeah. I just hope that this doesn't happen to any other parent and their child. But I do hope for justice. I do hope for justice.
Well, there you have it. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. I can't even imagine. I just can't imagine. I mean, I can't say I know how you feel because I don't. I cannot imagine having to bury your own child and watching your brother die. And the brother watching his brother die in his arms, watching the whole thing, having PTSD the rest of his life, having that memory. But I did hear in another clip, because he was brought on Fox News, they interviewed him and the family and stuff, and he did say he really appreciate this whole thing not to be politicized. He does not want his son's death being politicized and does not believe this was racial, and it's not racial. He sees it as a human problem, and it is. He's correct. He is absolutely correct. It's a human problem, a sin problem. And he did say he forgives the killer. That I guess he shows compassion because he destroyed his life too. I guess he sees the kid as someone that's troubled. Wow. Yeah. He recognizes that there's some broken people who are angry and troubled. That's what he sees in of this kid that took his son's life, as someone who is deeply troubled. Because this is not normal, people. This is not normal to be doing. Now, as a Christian, a lot of people online or even on the right, and people are saying this guy's weak. He's trying to sugarcoat this and all that stuff. And here's the thing. I'm going to speak from a spiritual side now. So I am a Christian, strong Christian. And, you know, forgiveness is hard. Forgiveness is really, really difficult when someone hurts you. And we're talking about the magnitude of, at this point, of murder. We have a hard time forgiving someone just for little things they've done to us. Like, sometimes I've had a hard time getting over when someone was just harsh sometimes to me. But this guy murdered his son. And he says, I forgive you, and I have some compassion for him. Wow. This family has a strong faith. Strong faith. Because how can you... The question is, could you forgive somebody, if you're a Christian particularly? I'm going to ask this for the Christians who could be listening to this. Could you forgive somebody who did something like so bad to you? Think of the worst thing that somebody could do to you or to someone else that you love. Could you forgive them? I'm sure you might have. There's times we've had those really horrible thoughts go through our head if someone was going to hurt someone we love. I mean, I say I do. I would forgive them. But we don't really know that until we're there. We don't really know what's going to happen until it actually happens. I hope so. I hope, because I want to live, I want to reflect what Christ did for me, forgiving me for my sins. So yeah, I hope I can forgive my enemy no matter what they did to me. But it's hard. I mean, I just can't imagine. So the lesson for all of us out there, that with, when to be tested, to test us, that we can pray that no matter what happens, whether that we can stand like this, because this is the example we need from Christians. But yeah, like you said, hopefully we can learn from this so this doesn't happen to anybody else, because no one should have to bury their own child. So, but yeah, that's there. And so, but here's the thing, and sadly, he asked this not to be politicized, but of course that didn't happen very well, because you have people literally politicizing this. People cheering it. You actually had a GoFundMe for Carmelo Anthony, the guy who stabbed Austin, to try to, basically bail him out of prison. Like, you cannot make this up, people. We're defending criminals. Well, I can't be surprised. We defended George Floyd, made him basically a god, or society's made him a god. So I'm gonna share this clip, a short clip. It's by Jason Whitlock. He's a strong Christian guy, and he often talks a lot about in the sports world. He often will hear him in the sports world. So this is his take on the whole situation, since the left has made this a racial issue again. So here we go.
Anybody in the sports media world talk about this? Will any of the Cowboys treat Austin Metcalf the way the Cowboys treated George Floyd, taking a knee all over the place? What's more of a tragedy? George Floyd overdosing on fentanyl under the knee of Derek Chauvin, or this 17-year-old boy, honor roll student, devout Christian, stabbed in the heart at a track meet? But no one's outraged. No, that's a misnomer. People are outraged. But these idolatrous, or these idols that have been installed in our culture, let's see if they have a word to say about this. I don't think they will, because we've seen this before. Do you remember the shows I was doing a year and a half ago about the kid Ethan Liming? The 17-year-old, I believe, high school football player in Akron, Ohio, who got beaten up and killed in the parking lot of LeBron James's I Promise school. Everybody goes deathly silent when the white kid with the promising future gets killed by young black men. The boys that killed Ethan Lyman, they got 18 months in prison. They were found not guilty of involuntary manslaughter. A dispute over someone shooting water pellets at these two young black boys turns into the death of Ethan Liming.
Anyway, that's he had a lot more to say, because he has a whole segment on it, but that's the short clip of what he said. Yeah. Where is for those who are trying to politicize this, since you are going to politicize it, where is the outrage for this victim that was killed? Where is the outrage? Because, he's right. There is some outrage, but not loudly enough. At least not online, not on the media. Where is the outrage? See, we make criminals into martyrs. And that's the problem with this culture. Unbelievable. I'm just boiling inside right now. I'm boiling. because we all know if the roles were reversed, cities will be burning down right now. We all know what would happen if the roles were reversed. And if it was, and since black people, the highest number of, since blacks are killed more by other blacks than any other race, they happen to be black on black, you wouldn't even hear about this story. Not convenient. So where's the outrage then with this? Kid minding his own business, just asked a kid to move and he gets his life taken away, all because he has had to move. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So anyway, that's the story I had to cover. I've been wanting to cover it. Unfortunately, these things never stop, so I wish I could say I wouldn't have to have another one of these reports again, but people need to be aware of this, and this is why I'm here. Since the media doesn't want to tell the truth to people and wants to politicize this is what I feel God has led me to do, and that's to tell the truth the best I can on what's going on, because this is ridiculous. But I do respect that family's faith. I hope people can see that example that can be a light to other people, but also to Christians too. Learn from that, their faith. And the father said that he's trying to be strong for his other son that watched his brother die. Yeah. Talk about a man. Being a man. I mean, anyway, that's all I have for you all. If you like this video, comment and then subscribe if you enjoy this channel, and hit the bell for notifications. But again, yeah, if you have anything to say, let me know. I like to know your thoughts if needed. But yeah, anyway, that's all I have for you today. Peace out. Red Pill American out.